The emergency doors to Araxis Prime General Interspecies Hospital flew open with a resounding crash, drawing the attention of everyone inside. The hospital, a towering structure of glass and steel, buzzed with activity day and night, catering to countless species across the Galactic Federation. Yet, even in this hive of diversity, what entered was enough to make seasoned medical staff freeze in their tracks. Standing at the entrance was a Marnari warrior. His tall, leonine frame exuded raw power, his fur streaked with blood and ash. The battle scars that marred his body hinted at countless conflicts, but it was the bundle cradled in his massive arms that truly commanded attention. A tiny human baby, crying weakly, was wrapped in a blood-streaked blanket. The warrior, Xylox, staggered forward, each step leaving a trail of crimson on the gleaming floor. His amber eyes scanned the stunned crowd, his deep voice rumbling like distant thunder. "Help her," he growled. "She's all that remains." Amelia Carter, a senior nurse with years of experience in interspecies care, pushed through the frozen crowd. Though she was human, her reputation for fearless compassion had earned her the respect of both her colleagues and patients. "Let me see her," she said firmly, stepping closer to Xylox. The towering alien hesitated, his protective instincts clashing with his desperation. Finally, he lowered the baby into Amelia's outstretched arms. Her skilled hands quickly assessed the child's condition: cold skin, shallow breathing, and a dangerously weak pulse. "She needs immediate care," Amelia said, her voice steady despite the urgency. "But you," her gaze flicked to the deep gash on Xylox's side. "You're hurt too." Xylox waved her off. "My wounds can wait. Save the child." As Amelia and her team worked to stabilize the baby, Xylox stood guard near the door. His presence was intimidating, but Amelia could see the exhaustion in his eyes. During a brief moment of respite, she approached him with a nutrient pack. "You need to eat," she said, holding it out. Xylox hesitated before accepting it. As he drank, Amelia asked, "What happened out there?" Xylox's gaze darkened, and he began to recount the harrowing events. Celestia 4, a human colony on the edge of Federation space, had been a beacon of hope for interspecies cooperation. It thrived on trade and diplomacy, with Marnari warriors stationed nearby to ensure its safety. Xylox and his unit had been patrolling the sector when the distress signal came through. By the time they arrived, the colony was ablaze, its defenses overwhelmed by a ruthless band of space pirates. "I fought through the wreckage," Xylox said, his voice heavy with guilt. "But we were too late. The colony was already lost." Amelia's heart ached as he described finding the baby's parents. Despite their mortal wounds, they had begged him to take their child to safety. "They entrusted me with her life," Xylox continued, his claws flexing as he struggled to contain his emotions. "I couldn't let them down." Amelia turned her full attention to the baby, channeling her grief into action. The child was suffering from severe hypothermia and malnutrition, her tiny body fragile against the harshness of the universe. Amelia and her team worked tirelessly, administering intravenous nutrients, warming her with specialized blankets, and monitoring her vital signs. Through it all, Xylox remained a silent sentinel. He refused to leave the room, his imposing presence both a comfort and a reminder of the child's perilous journey. Amelia finally addressed the question that had been gnawing at her. "What will happen to you? You broke your people's code, didn't you?" Xylox nodded. "The Marnari code is clear. Duty comes before all else. I abandoned my post to save her." He paused, his gaze softening as he looked at the baby. "I would do it again." As the hours passed, Amelia found herself opening up to Xylox. She told him about the accident that had taken her own child years ago, a loss that had left a permanent ache in her heart. "I couldn't save him," she admitted, her voice trembling. "But maybe I can save her." Xylox listened intently, his respect for the human nurse deepening. In her, he saw a strength that rivaled the fiercest warriors of his pride. Just as hope began to take root, the hospital received an urgent warning. The pirates who had destroyed Celestia were tracking survivors and had pinpointed the hospital as their next target. The news sent a ripple of fear through the staff. Some argued for evacuation, while others insisted on standing their ground. Xylox's voice cut through the chaos. "This hospital is a sanctuary," he said. "We defend it." Amelia stepped forward, her resolve unwavering. "We protect the patients, no matter what. If we stand together, we can hold them off." When the pirates arrived, their ships descended like vultures. Squads of heavily armed mercenaries stormed the hospital, their sights set on the pediatric ward. Xylox led the defense with the ferocity of a true Marnari warrior. His roars echoed through the halls as he tore through the attackers, his claws and strength turning the tide of battle. Amelia, too, proved her mettle, coordinating the hospital staff to create barricades and using her medical knowledge to treat the wounded while improvising traps for the intruders. In a heart-stopping moment, a pirate captain breached the ward and aimed his weapon at the baby. Amelia threw herself in front of the child, shielding her with her own body. The pirate raised his weapon, but before he could fire, Xylox appeared, a whirlwind of fury. The battle raged for hours, but just as the defenders began to falter, Federation reinforcements arrived, driving off the pirates and securing the hospital. In the days that followed, the baby's condition improved. Amelia, who had already formed a deep bond with the child, decided to adopt her. She named her Hope, a symbol of resilience and new beginnings. Xylox, despite the risk of exile, chose to remain by their side. His bravery and sacrifice inspired the Marnari Council to reconsider their rigid laws, paving the way for a more compassionate future. Together, Amelia, Xylox, and Hope became a living testament to the power of love and unity in a fractured galaxy. On a quiet morning, as the rising sun bathed Oraxis Prime in golden light, Amelia stood with Hope in her arms. Beside her, Xylox gazed at the horizon, his expression one of quiet pride. "Thank you," Amelia said softly. "For what?" Xylox asked. "For reminding me that even in the darkest times, there's always a reason to fight." The two shared a quiet moment of understanding, the baby cooing softly in Amelia's arms. Together, they faced the future, knowing that their bond had forged something extraordinary, a family born of courage, sacrifice, and hope.